Me llamo Tokio. Pero cuando comenzó esta historia, no me llamaba así.
Watching TV is one of the best ways to learn Spanish. Soy Esteban, tu profesor de español. In this video, I'll use some scenes from Casa de Papel, a great show on Netflix, to show how you can use a fun TV show to learn Spanish. By the end of this video, you'll know how to maximize what you learn from watching TV. And if you're not already watching it, I bet you'll have a new show to binge. Casa de Papel es un show donde un grupo de personas con diferentes talentos planean un atraco muy grande. ¿Cómo lo hacen? ¿Van a poder escapar? As you watch the first episode, remember that you don't need to understand it all. In fact, it's very possible you won't understand most of it at first. And that is fine. Watch the show, have fun, and come back for a second viewing where you can focus more on Spanish practice. Let's start by identifying some vocabulary that will be helpful during this episode and the show. Atraco, rehén, plan, huida, careta, víctima. As you watch it, try to identify when these words come up. Here's a good way to start your Spanish practice. Use Spanish to describe the characters in the show. We have already met Tokio. ¿Cómo es ella? Tokio es guapa y valiente. Ella es solitaria y es muy fuerte, pero también es muy impulsiva. As you watch, try to describe the rest of the characters. ¿Cómo es el profesor? ¿Cómo es Berlín? In the show, some characters will even describe themselves and others.
Eres un crack, papá. Eres muy grande.
Somos muy grandes, que somos muy grandes.
Somos pequeños.
Okay, let's look again at that opening line.
Me llamo Tokio. Pero cuando comenzó esta historia, no me llamaba así.
If you know enough Spanish to have learned the past tense, you might know that here we have both the preterite tense and the imperfect tense. That verb, comenzar, means to begin, kind of like to commence. So when this story started, no me llamaba así. I wasn't called that. No me llamaba. Now we're in a different past tense, the imperfect. The imperfect is for how things were in the past, a description of what was going on during a period of time. When we're telling stories, we often start in the imperfect tense. Había una chica. There was a girl. Caminaba a la oficina. She was walking to work. When that condition gets interrupted, bam, something usually notable happens. And that's when we usually switch to the preterite. Caminaba a la oficina cuando un extraterrestre aterrizó en la calle. An alien landed in the middle of the street. Okay, maybe I'll leave the storytelling to the experts, but you get the point. Now let's talk a bit about the accent.
Ya no soy de llegar a viejecita en la celda de un penal.
Did you catch viejecita and celda?
Ya no soy de llegar a viejecita en la celda de un penal.
That viejecita and celda is unique to Spain. In Latin America, you'll hear viejecita and celda.
¿Os di la bienvenida?
Pero no volveré a trabajar en mi vida. Ni vosotros. Ni vuestros hijos.
That vosotros form and its conjugation is also unique to Spain. In Latin America, you'll usually hear ustedes. That's another reason why watching TV is so effective, is because you'll hear regional vocabulary and expressions. You'll hear a lot of unique Spaniard slang in this show.
Pues sí, gilipollas, ¿o qué quieres? Que te dé un guantazo.
Here are a couple of words that you're not likely to find in a textbook. Gilipollas. Super Spaniard word. We don't use it at all in Latin America. A polite translation would be idiot, but it's a little bit more obscene. Then better follows that up by asking, ¿Quieres que te dé un guantazo? Do you want me to give you a guantazo? Spanish loves these diminutives and augmentatives, those little endings we put on words like ico, ito, ote, or aso. Often they're literally talking about size or intensity. So a little dog is perrito, and a big impressive dog is perrazo. But they often add a specific flavor and meaning. So guantazo isn't a big glove or guante, it's kind of a metaphorical big glove across the face. A big slap.
Pues sí, gilipollas, ¿o qué quieres? Que te dé un guantazo.
How would you like a big slap, asshole? I'm sure things are going to go just great on this heist. There will be lots of other regionalisms, expressions, and slang throughout the show you won't know at first. Which brings up my last point. Should you watch Spanish language TV with subtitles in your native language, in Spanish, or with no subtitles at all? It's going to depend on your level. Hearing the language is always a good thing, so if you're going to be completely lost, put on whatever you need to follow the story. But as soon as you can, try to challenge yourself by putting the subtitles into Spanish. You might be surprised how much you understand. Don't get hung up on catching every single word, just try to follow the plot. Use the images as key information to help put things together. That isn't cheating, it's how you're going to go about things in the real world anyway. Don't feel bad if you have to repeat a scene or even turn the subtitles back into your native language for a minute if you totally missed something. But the more time you spend turning the Spanish language into meaning, listening or reading to stick with the story you're genuinely invested in, the more benefit you'll get. And if you want some recommendations for other TV shows for different levels of learners, check out the links in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe for more, and thank you for watching. Gracias.